Yeah, she's not giving opinion. She's
From the country bed down to the United States, all the way to Johnstown. No rain I've seen like the sweet coffee that I met at the county.
Oh, I just can't believe that. Oh my
pretty.
A Lauren's kind of disjointed history here.
Sit by my side if you love me. Farmer Smart hat.
Farmer's market.
You're
Beautiful, it was.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the Octoberist, and Laura and Russell Frank and Karen Shaffer, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Now, I'm going to touch him here, and could you ask him, is he hurt there, or can he receive this?
Thank you, Russell. Thank you both.
You're not, he's not saying, tell her I'm going to do this, that, the other, he's saying I'm going to do this, and ask her how she wants. But it's all visual, so I don't think. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna let it shine. This light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. This light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. I won't let anyone get it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let anyone get it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let anyone get out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. All around this world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around this world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around this world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. In my daily work, I'm gonna let it shine. Hey, Tina! Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine.
It's really good. Read the whole board.
I'm gonna let it
This is
shine.
Robert Fitch.
I'm gonna let it
My daughter,
These are the old songs that we know from the 60s, 70s.
exactly, and your daughter, was she went to school, or was she teaching? She went to music, among my
What
favorites.
city are you from, Karen?
Seaside.
Seaside.
I grew up good. A little bit. Really.
You can think of us.
On Monday.
Adios, mis amigos, Jesus and Maria. You are holiday with you and the big airplane. All they will call you will be.
It's such a small community, I just discovered as the musicians were walking out the door, so one of them was my daughter.
Peaches on what he Yours pie in the sun comes.
Something hard to come by these days.
I am back to the Mexican border. Hey, all
Gotta make sure we don't get this place anymore.
I don't know if you have one, or afraid of it.
Yeah, she just didn't intend to do it, so I don't need the knowledge.
Right, you know,
Why, so,
that would be Oh, yeah, that would be so.
I estimated that I was 10 o'clock, I had a meeting at 10 o'clock, I believe,
On Monday.
on Monday, but I can already have 10 o'clock. And I
Not the father. Trying to get it all in.
Yay, the theme song of the United Farm Workers of America.
All right.
I'm not to be under the sea, in an octopus's garden in the tree.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
He let us live, knows where we've been, in an octopus's garden in the tree. I ask my friends to come and sing, and octopus's garden with me. I'd like to be under the sea, in an octopus's garden in the tree.
Is that one of the theme songs?
That's wonderful.
But I mean, my God, during all of these years.
Just
he
for
had
fun.
like 16.
I think it's great.
Huh?
Before it's
I
gone.
mean, if he was only
A little more
76
serious?
in 1965.
It was already well known.
And we are singing, singing a song. And we are singing, singing for our lives.
I met him at a teacher.
We are just a
He
singing.
said,
joined his class.
He
So
joined
this
Mayors
is
for Peace.
a funny
and
song
Mayors for 100% Clean
by
Energy.
Pete Seeger.
Are you inspired
He's on the
by
wall.
all these pretty photographs?
Are you kidding me?
Yay,
I'm
pizza.
highly interested when you're.
But you would like to see somebody else.
And what's one line?
I would not want to see, like Dan Alford, I would not want to see
But Alan Alford, I would like.
Alan. I would love to see. I wish there were some progressive women that would run. Actually, when I got up Tuesday, when I got up to speak, I said, this is Tuesday, the base election day. I'm so happy there are women running for office. And I said, it'd be nice someday if there were some women, there was some men. But I'm sure somebody, someone like you.
So unsaid. Sometimes I wonder why I roll into bed. My ears in a drawer and my teeth in a cup. My eyes on the table till I wake up. Sleep in the storage and I say to myself, I should lay on the shelf.
Takes away her from
But those nations are poor and business respects. People are still see that see right now.
And I think
He's always been just got up and went. But in spite of it all, when I was young, lots of girls were red. I could kick up my heels right over my head. When I was older, my slippers were good. That's where I could dance the whole night. Now I'm older, my slippers are right. I hop to the store and I hop my way back. Whenever you laugh, I don't mind at all. I'd rather be hopping than nothing at all. And how I know my ears all spent. I get up and go. Just got up
about
and
5 minutes and then we'll start a program.
but in spite of it all, I think of places I never has been. I get up read the opens. If I'm not there, then I know I'm not there. So I eat a good breakfast and I get up just got up and but in spite of it all, I need the rings.
So we're going to have a very short program now, and I will welcome everybody to the Monterey Peace and Justice Center. And it looks like Wes Walker's getting his camera going, and we'll start with a very brief program. And don't start the camera yet.
Okay.
I'm going to say something. The Monterey County Weekly is a wonderful paper and frequently gives us extraordinary coverage for events, but this time they didn't quite come through because they had so many other things going on, so we did not get it in the weekly. And usually when we do, it brings out a considerable number of people. But I'm happy that those people who are here showed up. My name is Judy Karras. I'm on the board of the Monterey Peace and Justice Center.
Yay.
And Joyce Vanderveer, who's sitting at the chair, is a board member, and Sylvia Shee, Sylvia Shee and Sydney Ramsden Scott are also board members. So we have 4 of the board members here. Catherine Crockett, our president, is out of town. And I'm going to introduce a few other people, and then Karen Shaffer, who is the assembler and curator of this exhibit, will speak a little bit about the show. But first I will introduce Regina Mason, who is with the Village Project in Seaside, who is here today. Thank you so much for coming. And the NAACP. She's the local president of the NAACP here on the Monterey Peninsula, and was honored by, with Mel, MPC. What was the honor that you
The President's Award.
The President's Award at MPC recently. We have 2 city council members from Seaside, Jason Campbell and Dave Pacheco are here. And if Jason, would you like to say a few words first? Would you like to say anything? Or?
Sure, no,
Okay, and then we'll turn the rest of the program over to Karen, but I know you have to leave, you said. So.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
unfortunately leaving town, but I'm glad I was able, you started at 5, so I could come and experience this. And I really appreciate having the Peace and Justice Center just down the street. It's an easy walk or ride, and I've come to numerous events, and the photography here today is spectacular. I love pictures, and I always like books with big pictures, but then it gets me to read these captions, and these are moving times, and I really appreciate the work people have done to bring us to where we are today. And if they hadn't done that work, we'd be so much further behind the 8 ball than we are right now. But we obviously still have a lot of work to do for justice in our communities, and especially here in Seaside, we're a very multicultural community, and I think we need to pay a lot of attention and make sure everybody feels at home here. And I think this is one way to do it, to promote these pictures and respect the people who did the work before us. So thanks for this invitation and for this wonderful exhibit here.
Good, and he didn't say, he was very modest, he is running for city council, and it's at the November election, I presume. In November, he'll be running for city council re-election, and we hope he gets it. And Dave Pacheco is here, would you like to say a few words?
Just the Peace and Justice Center makes a huge difference in our community. And all the activities that you do, all the programs you brought, had opportunity to come to numerous programs as well, and the informational programs, the educational, and the art. Art is such an important part of Seaside.
Thank you.
And it's, we're trying to continue that path with the budget, with the programs, with your help, with Sustainable Seaside Help. And when we work together, it all makes a difference. And obviously with NAACP, as far as a cultural diverse community, that's something that we should take great pride in. And with your groups and all the groups at Seaside, it just truly makes a difference. We're so very proud for you to be part of our community.
Thank you, thank you.
And we're delighted that you attend our programs as often as you do. Thank you.
Always enjoy it.
Yes, yes. And so Karen Shaffer is a retired teacher, taught at Delray Wood School and then Foothill School. She is the significant other of Bob Fitch, and I'm so happy that she consented to do this program here. I became the de facto art gallery curator when the other person who was doing it earlier this year had to drop out. And I was really puzzled as to what to do, but we really want to make the art gallery have themes that tie in with social justice and peace issues. And I don't think there could be any exhibit that more clearly illustrates just what the power of art can do. And this year our big idea for the Monterey Peace and Justice Center through the Community Gives of the Community Foundation and the MC Weekly, the big idea is expressing our voice and doing it through a variety of mediums, including poetry, including drama, song, and photography, art, numerous ways, sort of creative ways, thinking outside the box. So I'm going to turn it over to Karen Shaffer, and she'll tell you a little bit about the program, and Bob Fitch, anything you'd like to say. Thank you so much, Karen, for being here.
Yes.
All right, there we go. Actually, I'm not going to say very much because I think pictures sort of say everything. And continuing the work actually comes from
When Bob used to give the show, he gave me a copy of a show that he would give, including a lot of these images, and not all of it, some of them, and the more iconic images. And he would want everybody to know that there are there's supposed to be 5,000 right now, there's about 3,500 images that are available to all of you, anybody, for free for downloading. That was his agreement with Stanford when they acquired his 275,000 images.
Wow.
That's a lot of pictures. And his son has one of his sons said something about the quality of a lot of those. So you're going to take a lot of pictures, right, to get iconic images. But obviously he was an amazing artist. He had an eye. One of my favorite photos, no one will ever see, is a picture of his daughter's diapers dancing in the wind. And he was only 20 when he took that picture, and already you could see that he was this amazing artist. He was an artist, but he was also an activist, and that's what you see in these photos. And my stories are my story visiting and meeting people. And one of my favorite stories is, you'll see a photo over here. Matter of fact, it's a picture of a white man, and you can see his hands moving, about to slap the black man. Well, the white man is a sheriff, and the black man is Reverend Tom Gilmore. And he was later, he did get slapped upside the head, and someone said, what we really need to do is we need to elect a black sheriff. He was elected the sheriff of Utah, Alabama. He held that post for 12 years. He was also a minister. And the funny thing is that he refused to carry a gun. He's I believe, the only sheriff in the United States who never had a gun. His whole 12 years that he was sheriff. They did I guess a B movie about him. I'm still trying to find it. I'd like to see it. Anyway, I met Tom Gilmore when the archive went to Stanford. Bob invited Tom Gilmore, David Harris, who was Joan Baez's husband, and to represent the peace movement, and he represented what was going on in the South. And then they had a representative from the United Farm Workers Association. They were there, and they did like a Chautauqua answering questions. But anyway, I was honored to sit with his daughter and 2 of his 5 sons. But I got to tease him when it was all done. I went up to him. I said, "Reverend Gilmore, are you sure you're not a Catholic? You have so many children." And he goes, "No," he says, "we just wanted a girl." And so, but I got to sit with the children. That's my story, and I get to tell it. And they were just so touched. Here they were in the Green Library at Stanford. Their father's up there. It's just you and his daughter, because she's the youngest, so they finally had a girl and they stopped. And so and they were you could just see they were touched. But that whole idea, when we were thinking about a title for this show, because his show he's had different shows and they all had different titles. Continue the Work. When he passed away April 29th, we were looking at having the first woman president. Things were looking good. Times were we're going to have great. He would I don't know what he'd be thinking about right now, except for that, we got to continue the work. And thank you for saying that about, that it was a path that was laid out for us. And a lot of people gave everything for us to be in a position where we can make it better. And that's what this is all about. Remember, continue the work. Thank you very much.
And all of these captions are wonderful, wonderful retellings of the conversations that she and Bob Fitch had, and so it really adds a wonderful dimension to it. So all of you, there's food here, and Karen has been playing music. Some of you came late and you missed the couple, Russell and Laura Frank, that also played, that had to leave early. So the show will be up until July 15th. So if you know people that haven't seen it, obviously it's just it was put up just a couple of days ago, but it will be here for all the programs we have. I'll just say a few programs that are coming up. On July 11th, June 11th, sorry, at the Irvine Auditorium. Medea Benjamin will be there at 7 o'clock. On June 16th here, Laura Magnani with the American Friends Service Committee will be doing a program on healing justice and ending our failed prison system. And then on June 23rd, there'll be a wonderful program called The Singing Revolution, and I'm going to borrow the flyer because there's a subtitle for it. It's a documentary film and discussion. It was made in 2006, and it was about Estonian people that when they were trying to free themselves from decades of Soviet occupation, Russian occupation, I guess now. And it was an inspiring account of one nation's dramatic rebirth and of humankind's irrepressible desire and drive for freedom and self-determination. So this is going to be from 3 to 5 on Saturday, June 23rd. However, you might and you should go at 2 o'clock on the 23rd to the NAACP program they're doing on the Poor People Campaign. And is Regina, did you want to say a word about the June 23rd Poor People's Campaign will be at what church in
Yes,
Seaside?
it's going to be at Victory Temple on the corner of Broadway and Yosemite Streets, and we're inviting all groups that are interested in the issue around poor people in Monterey County for self-determination and economic justice. We need all the people involved that we can muster. We have a lot of people here living in poverty. We have a lot of systems that are designed to deal with some of these poverty-ridden issues, and fair and equitable distribution of resources are not going to the most neediest people. In fact, I don't know if you saw the Herald today where Ben Carson, who's head of the United States Housing Authority, is going up on low-income rent, Section 8 housing 20% because he said that these people do not work. And that is far from the truth. People are working 3 and 4 jobs, trying to make ends meet, and yet they never seem to get out of poverty. So we have this Poor People's Campaign that we launched on the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And we're carrying it on. There's Reverend Barbara who's doing it all over the country. And what we're doing is looking at local poverty-related issues. And we want all of our brothers and sisters in solidarity to come out and to help us eradicate all of the poverty that exists here. People do not have to live in poverty. We live in a rich community. There's enough for everyone. But because the people themselves that are being impacted are not part of the decision making, others make their decisions. So it's about self-determination. So we invite all of you to come out and get involved.
And that'll be 2 to 4 p.m. on the 23rd, and thank you so much. I think it's week 5 coming up for the Poor People's Campaign, and each week they've had a different theme. This week I think it's going to be education, housing, and I can't remember the third thing.
Living wage.
Pardon? What is it?
Living wage.
Yes.
Living wage jobs.
And Wes Walker, who's actually photographing this, is maybe somebody should unlock the door. I don't think it's locked, but how did it get locked? And Wes has been very involved. Maybe Wes would like to say a few words. He's been going up to Sacramento.
Let's keep going. Okay. Sure. Let me see if I'm even in the shot. Maybe I gotta be shorter. Let's see. So we also are doing the Poor People's Campaign. I went out to DC the first week. Went to Sacramento the second week. We're going back for the 5th week. We have a bus. We have 40 people can get on it. So please let people know. It leaves first thing in the morning on Monday the 11th in Salinas, Chinatown. We'll be back maybe into Salinas about 7:30, 8:30. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, you get to talk about what's really wrong with the system and then go try to disrupt the system for at least a minute, because maybe there's some inspiration to be had from that people can bring back and start interacting in positive ways with, the established order that already is. So that's my push for the minute, is trying to get there. So thanks for everything you're doing.
Great. And I'm just going to add one more thing, because Regina Mason with the Village Project and the Monterey Peace and Justice Center have been included in a $10,000 grant project with CSUMB. The U.S. History and Civics classes for undergraduates are being revised. They're doing a pilot program out there, and they've asked a number of groups, including the Community Partnership for Youth, Village Project, Monterey Peace and Justice Center, the Labor Council, and I think Building Healthy Communities. I'm not sure if that's included, but for all these groups to be involved with instructors in the Communications and the Service Learning Project. We're going to meet a number of times this summer, bringing with us input from community members, people in our group, about the emerging and the significant issues, the urgent issues that face our community, which have been already talked about by Regina and Wes. So that's very exciting, and just feel free to talk to us if what you think students should be learning in terms of their constitutional rights and other things. Well, I won't talk anymore. Thank you all for being here.